Good evening, Patriots. It's late and I'm about to go to bed, but I had to get this off my chest before I did. Now, the problem that I find at the moment with our country is to do with our government, and it comes down to the three C's, I'll call them. Excuse me, it's you, moustache. Alright, first, they want to control us. And then, when we act up about it, they censor us. And they do all this because what they're doing is corrupt. It's corrupt to our beautiful land, and it's corrupt to our beautiful people. So, we'll start at the number one, the control. Over the last couple of years, ScoMo and his group of merry little clowns and the rest of the politicians have brought in all these Facebook laws where hate speech and that is outlawed, and Facebook's got right behind them in doing it, as have all the rest of the governments of the world have got on the same campaign of controlling everything we say. And they said they weren't going to use it for this. It was only to stop pedophiles and people like that. But I know for a fact I'm being censored, and I'm having to use every resource I've got to get around it, and they're shutting me down at every turn they can bind me on. This one here at Blind Aussie Patriot, they haven't touched me yet, but I'm bracing for it, guys, let's face it. It's a control thing. They controlled what we could view, what we could say. Then they controlled us by locking us down. Now they've controlled us by putting on the curfews. And it's just gonna get worse and worse. Well, they've always let them get away with it. And sorry, we'll let them get away with it. So, they've already got the control. So people like me start speaking out. And the mainstream media will make us out to be a bunch of lunatic, crazy people. I'm blind. I have brain damage. It doesn't make me bloody crazy. I think I raise some valid concerns and points about what I think is wrong with our nation. And the reason, number three, that they do it is to line their own beds and pockets. Let's face it. You know, I can name 3 politicians, big politicians throughout different states in the last 8 years that have royally ripped us and the government itself off through the simple fact that they're politicians and they can change zonings and other things like that. Like, I'm not the smartest person in the world, but even blind I can see what's going on with all these politicians. I'll come straight out and say it straight out. Newman, Barilaro, hasn't Clive Palmer been scrutinised for making money off the government? You know, they all get into power and they use that power to help themselves, not help us people. And that's bloody disgusting and wrong. So, the 3 C's: control, censorship, and corruption. They just work together, and our government's got it down to a fine art, people. Tell me your thoughts Tell me your opinions, tell me I'm a lunatic, or tell me I'm on the money. But tell yourself, where do you want this beautiful country to be in the future? We were a land that was young and free. Now we're old and controlled. Very sad but true. Much love, people.
Stop recording.